Hello everyone. Today we're doing lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Before we start, I'd like to say thank you to everyone in the Healing with Sharing and Living A Course in Miracles on Facebook for all your loving support of my mom going through surgery and the emotional upheaval I was going through as I was looking at any and all possibilities. As I had mentioned within the group, my mom was high risk, very high risk. She's a cancer survivor of about 15, almost 20 years, and due to the chemotherapies that she did, she had her liver and her kidneys failing her. She had a hernia that had been shoved up into her upper abdomen, causing her gallbladder to fail as well. And her bones are deteriorating from the chemo medications. And the last time that she had surgery, the doctor really messed her up. He did the surgery and sent her home after lacerating her intestines. And she ended up going back into the hospital within 2 hours of that surgery and being sent home a couple of years ago. And she spent a year and a half in the hospital, had something like 26 surgeries because of it, and had to have her stomach held open with a balloon for a year and a half so it could heal naturally. As I said in the thing, she suffered a lot. And I knew in some ways she was really considering not coming back. She didn't want to have surgery again. She was afraid of it. And I understood why. After the last one, I think anyone would have been terrified of that. As she, after she did the surgeries, they went and had issues waking her up. It took them almost 3 hours to get her to wake up. And then her blood pressure kept dropping. And they were having a hard time stabilizing her. So it's been rough. That, along with all the other drama going on with my family, has really made this a very rough week. Very rough week. But I did want to say thank you to all of you for your loving support. It was much appreciated and very much needed. Okay, let's go ahead and go on with this lesson of the day. Lesson 16, I have no neutral thoughts. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those that are true create their own likeness. Those that are false make theirs. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either extends the truth or it multiplies illusions. You can indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. Besides your recognizing that thoughts are never idle, salvation requires that you also recognize that every thought you have brings either peace or war. either love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There is such a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial, and not worth bothering about, that it is essential you recognize them all as equally destructive, but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. In applying the idea for today, search your mind for a minute or so with eyes closed and actively seek not to overlook any little thought that may tend to elude the search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. You will find that it is still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the qualities that you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea to yourself, and then as each one crosses your mind, hold it in awareness while you tell yourself, "This thought about blank is not a neutral thought. This thought about blank is not a neutral thought." As usual, use today's idea whenever you are aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. The following form is suggested for this purpose. This thought about blank is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. 4 or 5 practice periods are recommended. If you find them relatively effortless, if strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. The length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there is discomfort. So this is lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. As I've been mentioning and discussing and sharing throughout these lessons that we've been looking at so far, that all of our thoughts that come into our mind was something that we've learned. A lot of them are judgments and opinions about this or that. And in this way, it makes it so that this statement here, I have no neutral thoughts, is very true. Because every time you think about anything around you, you have an opinion about it. A judgment. Good, bad, right, wrong, pretty, ugly, tall, thin. Sometimes it's not just a description, but a judgment on your part. So this is trying to get you to start recognizing that all thoughts, even the compliments, are judgments and opinions. None of them are neutral. They all are being projected out to create and manifest the world you are perceiving around you. All the things that we're going through, that we are like, oh my God, why does this always have to happen to me? It always happens because we have a belief that it will. And we're not willing to look at the lesson that keeps being brought up for us to look at. We just continue to see ourselves as a victim of the world we're perceiving. Newsflash, folks. No one is a victim here. You can't be a victim because you do it all to yourself. And everything, you have a choice in what you want to believe in and experience. If it's your choice in what you're going to believe in, what you're going to experience, whether you're going to be happy or not, if that is your choice, then no one else can take that from you. It is entirely up to you. Consider that. You are the one making the choices and the decisions in your life. No one else is making these decisions for you. If you're allowing someone else to make the decisions for you, then you are just as responsible as they are in that moment, because you are choosing to believe and follow them. You're the one responsible because you're the one making that choice and decision. No one else makes that choice and decision for you. Now, granted, as children, we are taught to follow and believe what we're told and to not question it. But there comes a point in time where you got to start thinking for yourself and recognizing that you're responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for your actions. Now, here's the kicker. They talk about the age of reason. When a child reaches the age of reason is anywhere between 4 and 7. That's when most children start being able to comprehend what's being said to them fully. They're able to follow fully what they're being told. And in following and enacting those judgments that you're handing them, they are thereby in that moment creating their own hell by believing in the judgments being handed to them. The same as you did, the same as your parents did, your peers, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, everyone. We've all done it. And we unknowingly did it to our children. It's a big-ass pill to swallow, isn't it? Really big, isn't it? These are the things that we have to take responsibility for. The things that we do ourselves. You know, if you got small children, you have a choice in what it is that you are going to share with them and show them and teach them about the world around them. Are you going to continue going on with the dictates of society, telling them that they should be wanting all these material items? That all they are is a sex symbol because of their bodies? That they're never going to be worthy of another person's love? They are constantly going to be seeking for it and never finding it, because they'll never be worthy in anyone's eyes, not even their own. Because that's what we've been taught. All of us sit there and wonder why we're not worthy of the love of those around us. Wonder why we're not worthy to be treated with the loving respect that we give others. Why it is it seems that people are constantly walking all over us. These are the things we were taught to allow and accept from the day we were born. This course is teaching us how to undo all of that. Teaching us how to take responsibility for our choices and make a different choice. To no longer follow the dictates of others and to go inside to our inner guide and ask him what he would have us do. Your thoughts aren't neutral, folks. They're creating this hell you're in right now. Look at them. Thank you for joining me today. This is lesson 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Sabrina Reyenga. And we have Alex behind the camera. And some of the critters are sneaking around the house here somewhere. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.